Welcome to the Blackout Show, presented by The Guillen Grid, a show about the Chicago White Sox baseball, the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll debate what's working and what's not on the south side of Chicago. It's old school versus new school baseball. And most importantly, we're keeping all the receipts.
What up? It's another episode of the Blackout Show. I am your host, Justin Lee. I'm here with Gonzo, Chris Gonzalez, and it's a pretty special week for us, Gonzo. We got the Cubs in the house. Tonight, the game just ended probably an hour or so ago. Cubs took the first one 7-3 on the losing end. Michael Kopech. Gonzo, we had a conversation within BGR earlier this morning, and Dre was trying to tell us that the Cubs aren't the White Sox rival. They have no impact on us competing for a championship. And me, Ken W.O., even King Mac had to raise up on them like, no, this is a rival for us, whether they're in our division or not. Me personally, Gonzo, I don't want to see the Cubs win. If it was up to me, they'll go 0-162, losing 9-1 every day. Like, I don't want to see that franchise have any success. I understand that you think it's beneath us as Sox fans to worry about what the fuck the Cubs are doing. I don't care about any of that. At the end of the day, if the Cubs lose, I'm happy. I would rather take a Cubs loss than a White Sox win. And today the Cubs beat my team, Gonzo, 7-3. What's your thoughts on all of this crosstown craziness?
Yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. I'm a diehard Sox fan, so like even when the Cubs were in the World Series, as a Sox fan, I was rooting for our division rival, the Cleveland Indians at that time. But I wanted the Indians to beat the Cubs, and that still holds true to my heart now. Like, you know, even when the White Sox in the season of 2023 absolutely suck right now, I want them to beat the Cubs, because even though, and this is what gets me, like all the Cubs fans are telling us, you know, we have the worst division in the AL. Well, guess what? Cubs are in the worst division in the NL. So what are we talking about here? So even being the two worst divisions of each league, like I want to see the Sox at least beat the Cubs. And truly, Sox are more talented. I mean, I would want the Sox to beat the Cubs right now because they have the better talent, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, you know, Sox just haven't been that team this year to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. And the Sox,
we're not
really
beating anybody.
We're
20 games under 500
now. Yeah, we're 20 games below 500, and we are what we are, you know. Like Daryl Green, we are who they thought they were. Yeah, well,
nobody is letting us off the hook.
Yeah.
Who's gonna let us off the hook? When are we gonna steal?
No one's allowing us off the hook.
Moncada had a grand
and you
slam
predicted,
today.
You know, last week.
They took that away from us.
You predicted coming right off the break that the Sox were going to beat the Braves, and then we followed it up with losing back-to-back series to the Twins, and it just such a letdown. But that's the storyline to 2023. And you know what? I don't know what has stopped Rick Hahn from making a deal. I know OJ alluded to it previously, but Hahn still believes in his core, and he might just take this all the way up to the deadline. I mean, I want to see moves being made. I think the rest of this year, you have to see what you have in your, the guys that remain out of this deadline, and you got to start bringing some of your guys up like Sosa and Cronin from AAA. See what you got as you build forward here. But Hahn is on the hot spot right now. He needs to be. The media hasn't really gotten to him yet, which I'm very surprised. Not really surprised, but I would really want them to be on him like they were with Tony La Russa last year. But now we're in a situation where Hahn, you saw the stat that we played last week with Jay Kuda, with those two. He's the third GM. There's only 3 GMs that have had the GM spot for the past decade of 10 years. And he's the only one that doesn't have a postseason appearance,
Yeah, between Mike Rizzo in Washington and then Brian Cashman in New York.
Yeah. So he needs to prove himself right now. If he's a true GM, he can retool this. But if he absolutely collapses, he should be fired at the end of the season.
The problem
Gary needs
is
to change it up going forward.
If you're gonna go into a rebuild, you gotta see what type of resources you have to barter with. Luis Robert and Dylan Cease 9 times out of 10 will be the talking point for any monumental deals to go down. Of course, there's other trades on the table, especially if you look at the age of the Chicago White Sox roster. It's very hard to find new blood on the 40-man roster that's getting some tick right now, outside of a cup of coffee for the Lenine Sosas, the Popeyes. Like you just mentioned a guy, Declan Cronin. Where's his cup of coffee at? Don't you think you need a couple arms right now, especially when you're up in the air with Liam? Like, you don't know what's going on with Crochet. I don't know if Mike Clevenger is alive. I don't know if Lance Lynn is going to be pitching in a Chicago White Sox jersey. Why aren't you bringing these arms up if you're going to have Project Birmingham be the bridge to right now? Because let's just be honest, Project Birmingham was built to accelerate any rebuilds. It was just so your 7-year plan gets accelerated to a 4.5 to maybe even a 3-year plan, depending on how old these guys are. You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta look. We just gotta look at what we have to work with, what we have to offer, and most importantly, we got to figure out who we're going to retain, Gonzo. Because it's very easy to say, "Yeah, blow it up." Yeah, you blow it up, but there's got to be some type of safety net where guys are protected. So
yeah, if you blow it up, let's be real. If they're going to blow it up right now, they're just going to be getting rid of likely Giolito, Lance Lynn, 2 pitchers out of the rotation, and then a bullpen, probably what we would imagine, Graveman, Bummer, Kelly. Probably 3 arms that will be gone. So if you go back to the pitching rotation, Clevenger's, from what I hear, he's day-to-day coming back soon. So that's 1 pitcher coming back with the 2 that is leaving. So you're probably going to get Clevenger coming back, and then you're bringing up a guy like Sean Burke to be in the rotation. So and that's what you're probably going to be sticking with for the rest of the season. And then bullpen arms, Cronin will be coming up, and you need 2 more guys. And I'm sure they can mix and match the bullpen. Like, I don't have any worries about filling out a bullpen after the deadline, because that truly shows you what
Well, hell,
guys,
that's the only thing
you have to give a shot.
That's the only thing Rick Hahn wanted
we
to
saw
do.
what he brings in Middleton, and Santos to begin the season. We didn't know who the hell they were. There's some people out there that thought Jose Ruiz was the best shot that we had. And next thing you know, Santos and Milton pop up in the picture, and they prove themselves and as solidified arms in the bullpen. Young, controllable arms. You probably can give Milton away in a deal too, but regardless,
I would
there's
say
definitely guys that come up to prove themselves.
It'll be easier to move Middleton than Bummer. I think at this rate, Bummer is a throw-in. He's not nothing to be centered around, especially when you want to get something of value back. I don't know, Gonzo. Like, if I was in charge of the Chicago White Sox, I would let this Cubs Sox Crosstown be the one. If we could somehow show some life and beat the hell out of the Cubbies, then I could say, you know what, maybe you people are worth something. But if we lay a fucking egg at the rate and then go up to Wrigley and lay another egg, maybe I trade the whole 40-man roster. Maybe I DFA.
Yeah, I think
my
at the end of the
infield.
day, regardless, they're 12 games back. They win tomorrow, great. They're 11 games back. Like, I would just wave the white flag for this year. Sell what you need to sell.
I don't like when you say that. I don't like white flag.
I know. It's terrible for the fact that it's nearing the end of July, and the Sox are going to be 13 games back. 20 games below 500, 21 games. That is not where we thought we would be in the year 2023 for the beginning of this parade window that our GM gave to us.
Window, Gonzo.
Justin, we had a GM that hired a guy by the name of Pedro Grifol. How do you feel about Pedro right now, Justin?
You know what? Let's get to know.
I don't have a problem making decisions. I don't have a problem making a call on a pitcher. I don't have a problem making a call on whatever our team needs at this particular moment.
Yeah, and like we came back from the road trip. We went 1-6 on the goddamn road trip, Gonzo, and there were games where we were resilient. We fought. Pitchers made pitches to get us through the next frame, and we still lost. There were games where we scored in the double digits, and we still lost. It hurts. It hurts. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Pedro Grifol is the worst manager in franchise history. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, Gonzo is muted. So while he's muted, I'm going to make funny faces in the camera.
Yeah, no. We got Pedro, Bunting, Remillard.
We down
absolutely
1,000.
blew it up. Senior absolutely blew up on NBC Sports Chicago when that happened, Jay. And by all means, like you said, I mean, hey, you're down 3 runs and you're bunting late in the game. What the hell are we doing?
You're down 3,
I think he had 2 hits going into that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Remillard had 2 hits in that game already, and you're not swinging away with them. You're just gonna be bunting. What fucking baseball are we playing right now?
Thank you.
Like seriously, like bunting. We had Pedro in the preseason telling us we're preparing to kick everybody's ass. The only thing that he's preparing for himself right now is kicking his own ass.
He's prepared for unemployment.
He is preparing for him. But you know what? Let's just promote him to vice president. We'll bring Kenny back as GM and go from there.
What the fuck?
I know, that's a little too soon. All right. Well, regardless of them bunting Remillard, we got swept in that series. And in game 3 of that series, we were up 3-0. Regardless of even game 3, we were up 2-0 in game 2 with Cease. Blew that game.
Blew it.
And then in game 3, you're up 3-0. You blow that game. You lose 5-4 in extras. That is just pitiful baseball.
And you know what's the crazy thing about that Twinkies game right there, Gonzo, because that's the one that pisses me off. Because you got everything you wanted in a winning baseball game. You played exceptional defense. You ran the bases well. You pitched exceptionally. You were good with runners, good enough with runners in scoring position. All you had to do was nail the game to the cross, and you refused to do it. The White Sox refused to win that game against the Twins.
Yep.
Sad. Non-serious baseball is coming from Guaranteed Rate Field these days. And I'm not going to lie. I'm a White Sox homer. This has been one of the worst seasons of my lifetime. Because I'm not young enough and stupid enough to be naive and be like, okay, well, there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. No. Do you not understand, people, that my favorite player in franchise history is the worst player on the team in Yoan Moncada right now? That's my state as a fan. Literally. I'm going to be all up in the rate tomorrow to watch my Chicago White Sox try to beat the do-rag off of Marcus Stroman. Right now, I don't like our odds. It sucks. It really does.
Justin, do you think Pedro Grifol has had any strengths? Not really strengths, but growth. Has he had any growth this season as a rookie manager, from what you've seen?
No, but I can't blame that on him, because there's no side of the franchise where he could grasp onto. There's no consistency within the organization to help Pedro out. What does he have to fall back on? Our bullpen is chaotic, our rotation is fragile, and our lineup is inconsistent and sometimes null and void. So he doesn't have anything to fall back on. He's gonna have to go 100. He's gonna have to manage 100% of the time. You can't grow, especially when he doesn't have the better talent. He doesn't have the talent. So I haven't seen any growth. It's actually getting worse. The only thing that's growing is my fucking tumor of hate for the Chicago White Sox. It's plump.
It's plumped, Justin. And besides of what happened in the in Pedro's game decisions from the past week, we're gonna get to the media. All right, Pedro said some really critical, unique comments in the national media. I think this frustration is starting to get to him now, because what we've seen through the first half of the season is really Pedro saying the right things, trying to be positive, and I think it's just absolutely getting to him right now, because the first thing he tells the media is, he tells the national media, or our local media, I should say, that we want Eloy's bat over his legs to get as many days off to him. And then he follows that up with a day later saying that Colas is playing too hard. He's playing at a 10 right now. We got to bring him down to an 8. What kind of a message is this saying to the team right now?
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Like, you're telling Oscar Colas, who's basically been fighting for his life for this moment, he's been constantly showing the White Sox, like, hey, I understand, I've been spinning my wheels a little bit at the major league level, but if you're going to send me back to AAA, I'm just going to fucking eat those guys alive. Like, I'm not trying to go backwards. And then with the Eloy is what pissed me off, is because Eloy is the one guy that you need to pacify and try to find off days for. If you let's take today, for example. Gonzo, we was talking about it before the show. If you want to break your fucking neck and get Jake Berger in the lineup, why don't you have Remillard at second and just DH Jake Berger and tell Eloy wear a hoodie for the night and be ready to pinch hit? Why can't you just be a fucking manager? And I think you hit it right on the head. He is getting frustrated because now he's being a little bit more vocal and responsive with his answers. Like, it's getting under his skin, or he's taking it personal. So
yeah,
it just fucking sucks.
Honestly, like, I'd put Eloy out in right field right now, just because as much as I want to see Colas out there get his growth and development, I don't like his approach at the plate right now. He's not working the counts. He's not getting the pitches he needs to hit. I would truly just put Eloy out there, because let's be honest, Eloy at least broke that no hitter from Kyle Hendricks tonight. Had that first double that first hit of the ball game. That was a double to begin that that spark to try to get something going. But yeah, you gotta get Remillard in there. So maybe put Moncada in the DH right off the start there and put Remillard in at
right.
third. try something
Are
out.
you
Like
what's it
you have,
like? It
you have
it's
nothing
not,
to lose
it's
right now.
you have nothing to lose. Number one, and number two, Pedro Grifol, you're the type of manager that likes to pinch hit. You think you're gonna have an issue pinch hitting for Moncada in the seventh, eighth, and ninth inning after you had 2 to 3 at bats to see how competitive he's gonna be for that day? You mean to tell me it's hard? You mean to tell me it's hard to pinch hit for Jake Berger, who's 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts the whole fucking year? It's hard to pinch hit for that?
Yeah. No, I feel you. And I want to put a comment here by Bull in the chat. Said play Colas doesn't matter. Trying to get wins now. It's over. See how Colas develops. But you can say that about the whole team. Growth and development from everybody. So like
Wins don't
really
matter.
Even when it comes to Colas, like, do you see Colas really on this roster going forward, like a part of the core? Like, I would, if I could get some value, I would trade him away. He's a natural first baseman. He's not a natural outfielder.
Yeah, like
On
literally.
the best roster
Oscar
of
Colas,
yours, he's your first base or DH because
you
that
got
was
to
his
think,
natural
Gonzo,
position.
I get to watch Oscar Colas for the Cleveland Guardians play first base every day and Josh Naylor. Ultimately, that's who Oscar Colas is going to be if he's any good.
Yeah.
I'm not holding my breath for that.
No. And for everybody in the chat listening in right now, we don't have Ozzie Guillen Jr. with us tonight or Slavko Bekovic with us tonight. It's just me and Jay for the rest of the tonight. Don't worry, though. They'll be back with us next week. But as we go on with the show, Justin, all together, it's just frustrating, man, that we're in this seat and the only growth really right now as the two best players right now is in Cease and Robert. Maybe that is going back to what we were talking about with strength as a manager. I think, Pedro at least found his offensive guy that, he rose up to that potential. He set Robert. And that's something that OJ called out. Who's going to be that first guy that he's going to hold accountable? And it was Luis Robert, who ends up being your best player on this roster right now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And
he still is so raw.
Mm-hmm.
Still so raw,
and
Justin.
Don't get me.
I know we were talking about, him in the outfield with, I still want to see him get some, development from setting himself up to make some throws and being better with his IQ with balls hit up the middle from stopping guys advancing from second to third. But go ahead, Justin. I cut you off.
No. I was just gonna say, like, don't get me wrong. Luis Robert is an exceptional player, but if we're gonna talk about the culture flaws that we have within the organization and within the clubhouse, we can't be in a situation to where Luis Robert is the lead bull, because he's gonna bridge that same culture, and it's gonna be hard to build a roster into a mature winning baseball team like we've seen in 05 and 06, because that generation of baseball ain't coming through the door. It's a different game now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you put these kids in a losing situation, how many guys are going to still give you 100% when you're 20 games under 500? Like, you're going to see what type of guys you got in your foxhole. And I mean, this campaign is important because this is the worst team Luis Robert has ever been a part of win-loss wise. And if he still can give me the best season of his career, even through these circumstances, I can tip my cap for him. It's just me being I'm a boomer, a baseball boomer. I just don't want to see a team where Luis Robert is my best player. Although it'll be hard to find a center fielder better than Luis Robert these days.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. I mean, it's just crazy how the best thing out of 2023 so far has been Luis Robert, a guy that we've been waiting for this. What, 2 years now? And we're finally seeing that potential he's living up to. Backtracking to Dylan Cease, everyone wants to trade Dylan Cease right now.
I'm one of them.
Guys, don't destroy me right now.
No, I'm not.
But let's get back to that. If the world champ right now is asking for him, guys, it's the former world champion that is asking for your ace. They want to win again, and they want to come get your guy. If that doesn't tell you that you need to extend him to build around him, I don't know what else to tell you. You want to see the Chris Sale 2.0 trade and start over again and get guys that we can't develop? Frustrating if that's what we want to do to go forward. But go ahead, Justin. Tell me what you want out of Dylan Cease.
No. The only thing I was going to say is that's the hard part, is how much we're talking about blowing it up, essentially. How much major league ready talent are we going to bring back? Because we can't just bring back a whole fucking stable for the farm. There's still people that they're still gotta play at the rate. I'm just saying, if you can get something of value, because we're not winning the World Series with Dylan Cease right now. We're not winning the World Series with Luis Robert.
Yeah.
You don't. And let's just be honest, Gonzo. I don't know when the next time the White Sox are making the playoffs. And I was one of those people that had them winning over 80 games, 88 to be exact this year. I don't know when the next time they're making the playoffs. So if I have an opportunity to, at least get something from the investment that I made, I mean, at least, can you honestly say trading Luis Robert and Dylan Cease will try to help not fuck up the next rebuild? Because we both know it's inevitable.
So I totally believe this is either do you retool or rebuild. I think if you have a competent GM, you're more than
you got to
capable retooling. I mean, with
but
Hahn,
we don't have nothing to work with outside. We don't have nothing to work with, Gonzo. Dylan Cease.
I mean, you have a front end starter and you have a bat. Yeah. That's all you got right now. You're going to trade your two best players away and then start over and get back to this position in 5 years from now? Or you have the guy that did it the past 5 years isn't doing it right now. So what makes you think that starting over again is going to lead to success in 5 years from now? That's just the definition to me of insanity.
That is insanity. I'm not going to let you talk me out of unblown. You're not going to talk me into unblowing it up. You're not going to do that.
Blow it up, Justin.
If Houston is asking for Dylan Cease,
to blow it up.
Look, if you the Houston Astros and you calling me for Dylan Cease, give me Jeff Bagwell, Lance Berkman, and James Harden, and you can have them.
Yeah. All right. I think that is our conversation in Grifol's grounds. Justin, I think it's time for a little tease. What do you think, Justin?
So, apparently,
all right, everybody in the chat. Yes.
Apparently.
Yeah, allegedly. We just got confirmation as of yesterday. We have a special guest. Her name is going to be Sierra Santos from the MLB Network. She'll be joining us next week for our MLB trade line discussion. Are you ready for that, Justin? We're going to have Sierra Santos joining talking about the Chicago White Sox trade deadline.
I love me some Sierra, but I'm going to try not to be fan fucking out. Usually when we have high-profile people on the show, I get all fanboyish. I'm going to try to calm my shit down. I'm excited. I love Sierra. Love when she was working with us for the Sox. Hopefully she come back soon.
Yes. And we have some things to talk about, Justin, because as of, earlier today, we saw, Tim Anderson. MLB Network was talking about Tim Anderson, Jonathan India, and so many other names that were mentioning with the White Sox and coming in, going out in the trade deadline coming up. So that should lead us to our Stone Pony tweets of the week. All right, guys, this is Stone Pony Tweets of the Week. Justin, throw up the first tweet on the board for us.
You can put it on the board. Yes.
All right, this is from our very own Ozzie Guillen.
Are you reading my fucking mind?
I'm reading your fucking mind right now. It's Ozzie Guillen
Right,
Jr., ladies and gentlemen. The guy that is not with us at the moment. Go ahead and give it to us. What is Ozzie saying right now, Justin?
Well, what he tweeted out, brother, was interesting. Why not Moncada at second base, who did it before Jake at third? Maybe injury restrained, but interesting blackout shot. I'm gonna tell you something right now, Gonzo. I've spoken a little bit of Spanish. I've spoken French, a little bit of Mandarin, even some Arabic. I've never spoken Guillen before. This is wild. Slavko, shout out to you, because you've been understanding this shit for a while now. This is insane. This is insane. But to Guillen's point, I didn't want Jake Berger at second at all. We talked about it earlier in the show. If you were so thirsty to get Berger in the lineup, why you just couldn't DH him, have Moncada at third, or have, if you're worried about injury, why just you don't DH Moncada, have Remillard at second, and Berger at third? Like, it's a lot of different ways you could protect it. I just feel like just some more bullshit, smoke and mirrors bullshit. It's out of control, Gonzo. What say you?
Jonathan India, Justin. Tell me what you think about the second baseman of Cincinnati Reds.
That guy?
Yeah. Actually, no, go back. Sorry, I cut you off. We're on the Berger discussion. I'm already jumping to India because I'm excited to talk about that. But let's go back to talking Guillen, like you're telling me, because when it comes to Jake Berger, the versatility. Somebody, I don't know why like people are talking so much shit with Yoan Moncada when they already tried this earlier in the season with with Tim Anderson, moving him to second base, trying to get his versatility to spike his value up. And I don't know why going back there with what OJ was saying, guys, Moncada just came back from the IL. Like, we don't need to spike his value up. He has another year at $24 million next year. We're not trading him. We're not trading him. His value is too negative right now to even consider trading him. You're not going to get any value for him, so you need to get him going again. Like, him moving to second base is just to get the guys that you have right now on the field. Sure, we can talk about versatility next year with trading him, but giving him a shot right now, we're not doing that to spike his versatility to trade him at this deadline. That's still going to be a ways away. But at least moving Berger to second base, I mean, we've talked about it for a while now. Like, we got to see where we can fit him in to keep his back up. Because his slugging percentage is still ridiculous. the kid is at 21 home runs now. He's on his way. I think Junior said he can get to 35 home runs possibly, which he's not going to be far off, I don't think, by the end of the season. So,
hey,
I
you
like
know
to
how them
see.
Jake Burger weeks get when he could put up like 6 to 7 home runs in a week. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
got about 3 more of those left.
Yeah, and when it comes to Jake Berger, that kid has earned everything while he put this uniform on. Missing the first 2 years of minors to the Achilles injuries, battling his, I think he had a knee and a forearm issue. He's really battled back into it, and I'm just stoked that he is proving himself as an MLB player. Especially one of our first round picks. That's a guy that has earned himself, all the hype and that he's deserved. And he was getting talks about being in the All-Star game and let alone the home run derby this year. So I'm excited
That was
for him
propaganda.
and see what you can.
It was propaganda you people brought up. Take
It was
responsibility
propaganda,
for your actions.
But we got to see what he can do in the second half of the season. But go ahead. Tell me about what your thoughts were on the versatility that OJ was talking about.
Well, I mean, like, as far as like the Jake Burger concern, like, we have enough holes on the roster to where he can get at bats at third base, at DH. You know what I'm saying? So moving him to second base is kind of counterproductive because you're going to hurt that. We're already a bad defensive club. Why make us worse playing a guy out of position when you don't have to? Like when TLR was the manager, like we had to put fucking Andrew Vaughn at second, third, left, and right field sometimes during the game. We don't have to do that now. And still, we put ourselves in that situation. That's probably why we're 20 games under 500. Probably.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think last week, Berger was on my list of maybes to trade, depending what value you can get. And Justin, I know you weren't with us last week, but did you see Nick did his little fantasy deal to get Lane Thomas from the Nationals for Berger? And I forgot what the package entailed, but I think that was clearly a snub from the Nationals, but that would be nice if you could get some value like that back for Berger, because at the end of the day, kind of like in the Colas situation, it's a guy that's just mostly a first base, third baseman. We got a lot of those on this team right now. So, and as much as I, would hate to see him being traded away, if we get some value back that can make this roster better, I'm all up for it. What's your thoughts on potentially seeing Berger? Would you move him right now?
No.
With the control?
Not only that, but Jake Berger is the type of player that I want to go forward with socially. He's a blue-collar South Side type of guy. He works hard. Not really a lot of flash. I appreciate that because, like I said earlier, I'm a boomer, and I like the old-school throwback, hard hat, lunch pail type of guy. I wish I had another third baseman on the roster that was cut from that cloth, but it is what it is. I think we were talking about, I was scared to go forward with Luis Robert and how his personality and the suavecito type of baseball that he plays, I don't want that to infect the new crop of players that come up. I don't have to worry about that with Jake Berger. The young kids that come up through the minor leagues, they can see Jake Berger as a look into reality. Hey, it doesn't matter if you're hurt. As long as you work your ass off, you could be like me in the major leagues batting .215 with 30 home runs, 76 RBIs, and unlimited fucking Malort shots because I'm a legend. Jake Berger it's not even about the money with Jake Berger. Like, yeah, his contract is very fucking useful for the White Sox because it keeps them flexible or whatever, yada, yada, yada. No. I want my new group of kids to be around Jake Berger every day, be able to see him in the cage, be able to, see him and Ash Lynn talk baseball. You know what I'm saying? Afterwards, sign 1 million autographs, then still have the energy to hug your daughter and spend time with your family. That's the type of players we need on the South Side. Not fucking 3 million views on TikTok, and I'm okay with going 1 for 3 with 2 foul outs and a K, or that'd be 1 for 4. So, yeah, I like Jake Berger. I want him to be here forever.
Yeah, I think we have a listener here on TikTok by the name of Ashanti that I think sums it up best for us, and she just wants to see Berger move to the next base. Justin, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, whatever base that is. Ashanti, he already got kids, so he's gotten to second base and third base. Trust me. So, yeah, he can go to whatever base he wants.
All right,
I mean,
go
I
ahead
think
and
his marriage is happy and healthy.
yeah, let's put up our next tweet.
Oh yeah, with Jonathan India. Now that's pretty wild too, because we could have, like Mike said, we could have drafted him, Gonzo, and Jonathan India is exactly what we need. Exactly what we need. A little bit of speed, a little bit of pop, plays every day, plays good defense, smart, scores a lot of runs. A lot of runs.
To his credit, with Mike, to his credit, we should have drafted India instead of Madrigal. We wouldn't be in this position to give up, value in a deal for this. But at the end of the day, Justin, when it comes to Jonathan India, that's a guy he would be the best second baseman the Sox have had in over a decade?
Since Iguchi.
Because let's be honest, like when we had Simeon, he was not even near his development where he's at right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was utility. So, I think we got Brett Lawrie too late. Jeff Keppinger was a loser. Yeah, it's between Iguchi and Ray Durham.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of flack by the analytics. I'm going to put this up for the chat to see, but while I talk
Mike
about
Martin wrote a Bible.
Jonathan India.
Is literally a Bible.
He did. He wrote a Bible for us. But what I will say is Jonathan India, he's former Rookie of the Year player. I know the analytics have been against him this season. I know he regressed a little bit last year, but he picked it up to begin the year. He was hot. And then when they started bringing up all of the prospects, I feel like he probably took it personal. Like, why are you moving me around with all this talent coming up? But I didn't hear any negativity in front of the media with him. But you can definitely see in his play that, he regressed during the season a little bit there the past month before the All-Star break. But just looking at the numbers, I mean, there's I would love to have the numbers that Jonathan India has produced in Cincinnati here for the White Sox.
You might be right.
Because what has Elvis Andrus done? How many people we've seen at second base this season not even produce anything? So why are we even being negative with a guy like Jonathan India coming to the White Sox? Especially if people are giving shit when they saw Michael Kopech involved in that discussion. We had this discussion last week, Jay, with Michael Kopech. What is he showing you that he's taking up that next step to be that quality arm in the rotation? We haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen it through a whole season.
If I'm the White Sox, I'm saying, look, Liam, you're going to Cincinnati. We're bringing back Jonathan India, and I'm turning Michael Kopech into my closer until the end of the season. I can regroup and start over. Having Michael Kopech start games for the White Sox is not best practice. That ship has sailed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay.
As much as that,
it's okay.
Is it? That's tough to say because we traded away Chris Sale for this guy, and just to see that deal with Best B, Moncada, Kopech, no one has stepped up to even for that deal to be remotely positive for the White Sox. The Red Sox got what they wanted in that deal. They won the ring with Chris Sale, getting the final outs in that ring. And that was one of my favorite pitchers traded away in that deal. So the fact that I haven't seen any of those guys develop is heartbreaking. And but if you can get, this kind of reminds me, Justin, I mean, definitely not with where the value is for the talent, but moving a pitcher for a everyday bat, this kind of goes back with the Twins. They traded away Luis Ariz to get Pablo Lopez. And look what Luis Ariz is doing in Miami right now, batting 370 with Pablo Lopez.
And Pablo Lopez
his ERA is getting up to close to 4.
It's 4.5 now.
Yeah, OJ, I know you're sick right now, but how does that look right now, Mister? Trading away the batting MVP for a middle of the rotation arm. That's okay. We'll get on OJ when he gets back. But if I can trade away Kopech in that deal, it's probably gonna be Kopech in an arm if you're looking at the value of that deal. But at the end of the day, I would give that arm away to get an everyday bat in this lineup to play every day. Not only to give me good production with the bat, but I know, the analytics will say he's bad with the glove, but I think he's a lot better than what we've seen at second base for the past decade.
I mean,
and that's all you fill a hole there. You fill a hole there, Justin.
Yeah, you don't have to
We've
worry
seen
about
the
second
holes
base.
right field and second base.
Well, and then
Now we can
another
focus on the
secret
other
power.
spots.
Lately, with the Reds calling up all the kids, we've seen a secret power in India where he could hit anywhere in the lineup. Like David Bell has hit him damn near in 5 different spots in the last month. Make no mistake about it, Jonathan India is being traded because Ellie De La Cruz and Matt McClain is the keystone of the future for the bread machine. I mean, that's already written in stone. So, but if I'm the White Sox, the deal is on the table, you take it. You're going out and you're trading for the second best player in your organization.
Yeah, to go back to what Mike Martin said, like I do believe in that retooling. If you fill some of these holes, you have a very good shot at turning it around next year. And the division has been bad.
We got Gabe putting the Buscata comment in the. I'm calling the police. So
you're calling the police, and I think that wraps it up, Justin, with Jonathan India rumors. And let's take a look at the week ahead, folks. This is Southside Daily. All right, Justin. This is my favorite part of the show, going over the upcoming schedule.
Who's gonna prepare to kick our ass?
Yeah, we're gonna look to see who's gonna absolutely destroy us raw on the weekend.
Why you gotta do that?
Everybody in the chat loves the tonnage of the rawness from this team.
What?
Jay, it was just 2-game series with the Cubs this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, we lost today. Tomorrow's matchup is going to be Lance Lynn versus Marcus Stroman. Jay, you're going to be at the game tomorrow, so you're going to look at 2 trade candidates for both sides of Chicago. And then after we wrap it up with that 2-game series tomorrow, we go on the road for 4 games. Or no, we stay in Chicago. I'm getting ahead of myself, Justin.
We are on the road.
Stay in Chicago. Cleveland's coming to town. Cleveland's coming to town. It's Thursday's matchup is going to be Dylan Cease versus Trevor Beebe. Friday, Giolito versus Undecided. And then Saturday is going to be Toussaint versus Allen. And then Sunday is going to be Kopech versus Savelli. Justin, we have some interesting matchups there. I think my favorite matchup in the Cleveland series is going to be Cease versus Beebe. Cease is starting to feel himself, and he's been pitching well lately. What's your thoughts so far on the pitching matchups coming up here?
Yeah, absolutely right. You're gonna see a collision course. Cleveland been hitting and smacking the shit out of the ball the last couple days, and we're going into Cleveland with the chance to at least get ourselves a good taste in our mouth headed towards the deadline. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Gonzo, we could go in there and we could get absolutely decapitated by Josh Naylor and his brother. And then I could have my whole roster get traded. But to isolate that matchup between Tanner Beebe and Dylan Cease, I think what the White Sox offense got to do is be aware of the high fastball. Beebe likes to pitch up in the zone. You got guys like Eloy, Andrew Vaughn, who's good at tomahawking that. Gavin Sheets, who actually hit a baseball thrown at his lips, and he hit it to the back of the Tropicana field. So, there's gonna be games that could be had. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, we went to Citi Field and we went to Target Field, and there were games where we scored double digits. It was games that we were resilient. We're gonna have to have all of that to Cleveland, because they're gonna make us play at least B- baseball. At least. And then you can do everything you possibly can to stay competitive the first 8 innings, and then you got to see that monster Clase, who inevitably will pitch the 9th and the 10th inning if you haven't lost in regulation already. So, actually, I didn't talk myself up into getting excited. I think the White Sox might win a half a game.
A half a game. You know, this is going to be a rough series offensively, because this is two teams that have high chase rates. But yeah, I think the Sox probably only win one game in this series with Cease. It's even tough to say that, Jay, because, Cease was out there versus Minnesota, had a 2-0 lead in the game, and then they blew it. And I don't have any confidence with holding leads. So I definitely feel they're going to lose this series, obviously. And yeah, Cleveland probably will start to run away there by then and take it from Minnesota. But let's look at the opponent hitters. Jay, Naylor right now. Is it crazy that in 2023, Ramirez isn't the most productive hitter in that lineup right now?
Yeah.
Naylor has a 303 average, 15 home runs, 76 ribbies. I didn't see that come. Like obviously he should be a respected hitter, but I didn't see him leading that offense right now in Cleveland. He didn't strike me as that guy with the bat.
Well, he's hitting in a perfect spot, because if you look at the 1-2-3, Terry Francona usually lines them up. Quan leading off, Rosario second, J-Ram third, and then you got Naylor right smack dab in the middle. You're going to get two of those guys on. You want to know why Naylor's RBI total is impregnated? Look at what Stephen Kwan has been doing the last month. He's been absolutely terrorizing the league. And don't get me wrong, J-Ram has been a little bit subpar, but he's still getting on base, Gonzo. He's literally Josh Naylor RBIs, and he's not missing. And if you watch any of his games, he's hitting missiles everywhere. I'm talking about rockets to the warning track. Like, he's gonna have a career. He's having a career year, and he probably won't even hit 30 home runs. That's a lot of production from your first baseman.
Yeah. Heck, I was, we've seen Andrew Vaughn start to slow down a little bit. I know he took the foul ball off the foot, but he's been stuck at 12 home runs lately since the All-Star break. So hopefully our own first baseman can start seeing more pop from him. We can't see him where you catch up to him. We got to make sure. Yeah, we're celebrating a foul ball with Timmy, but I was getting excited when I saw Moncada almost have a grand slam tonight, Justin. Fuck Suzuki.
It wasn't meant to be.
Taking him.
Wasn't meant to be.
Wasn't meant to be. Meant to be, shit. It wasn't meant to be. Fuck him. Suzuki robbing that right field. All right, we gotta get over that, Justin.
If Moncada would have came back off the IL and hit the grand slam, I probably would have got canceled today.
Yeah, we would have got canceled, Chad.
I would have dropped Austin Riley in fantasy and picked up Moncada.
Yeah, but that's the 4-game series starting Thursday through Sunday at home. Then they go on the road. They go on the road, Justin. Speaking of the road, they're going to be in Texas, Arlington Heights.
Ooh.
Did I say Arlington Heights? Not Arlington Heights.
Yeah, you did.
They're going to be in Arlington.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to Arlington.
You've been getting into the catnip, haven't you? So.
I've been in the catnip. I've been in the Chick-fil-A and the catnip. Tuesday's matchup is going to be Lance Lynn versus Nathan Eovaldi. I've lost Justin right now. All right, Justin. Actually, let me backtrack. Do you think Giolito is going to make the start at home on Friday, or do you think he's traded already? Before we get to
I think he's traded. I think he's traded already.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's traded too. I think they do right by Gio and get a deal done. They don't want to have him waiting around.
Yeah. Call your shot. Where's he going? I'm gonna go with. I just feel it's natural for him to go to the Dodgers. But I really want Justin Crawford. I really want that Phillies deal to go down.
Arizona.
You're going to Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't looked at the potential prospects for the Diamondbacks, but I wouldn't be against it. Mike Martin in the chat saying Baltimore.
I don't think if Gio gets traded to the desert, I don't think we're getting any minor leaguers back. Probably get something like Gabriel Moreno, something, just a little, like how could I say, a little kickstart to this new regime, like another building block. Like, okay, we're gonna get Grifol to give him a catcher. You know what I'm saying? Get him a XYZ to start off fresh next year. Because I honestly believe, Gonzo, that if we're gonna blow this thing up, like using it all to spend on the youth will be malpractice. Because you're not gonna have anything left to start off with for the big boy club. You're just gonna be waiting on the prospects again, like we were in 2017, 18, 19, 20. And the cycle is just gonna continue.
Right.
Mike Martin said Gio's going to Baltimore.
And that leads us to the discussion, Lance Lynn, and a potential 2-start week going to Tuesday. Justin, we were talking about this. Where do you think you don't think he's making that start, do you?
I don't think so.
And better yet, where do you think he's going? Where do you think he's going, Jay?
So basically, Gonzo didn't talk me into believing that Lance Lynn is not only getting traded to the Rangers, but he's going to make the start. His Rangers debut is going to come against the Chicago White Sox.
He's starting against us. No fucking way. No fucking way. Can you believe that, Justin? Lance Lynn starting against the White Sox in the same week. Starts it off in the Sox uniform, ends it pitching against us.
Can you imagine we taking
Shit.
we lose to Dane Dunning and Lance Lynn in the same week?
We're going to be seeing Dane Dunning, Lance Lynn, shoving it raw. Raw, chat.
Okay.
Shoving it raw.
Asia, if you're listening to this, I don't condone in any of Gonzo's rawness. I am just a Chicago White Sox fan podcasting on said team.
Too much rawness. But
yeah, you don't get salmonella
yeah,
like that.
I could see that. Dane Dunning, Lance Lynn, Texas Rangers rotation to end the week. And going up against Evaldi, I don't like that at all on Tuesday. But let's look at their most productive bat, Jay. Adolis Garcia. 260,
he's been banged up.
24 home runs, 80 ribbies. He's been banged up. So that leaves us to Corey Seager. Is that right?
He's banged. He just hit the IL too.
He hit the IL too.
So basically,
he hit the IL too.
We're gonna face a Rangers team with a bag of Nate Lowe sprinkled on top with a little bit of Simeon leading off. I really think this Rangers lineup could be had. It's just you have to execute your pitches. Now, obviously, against any major league club, you want to execute your pitches, but you could really expand the zone and take advantage of a lot of the Rangers' young hitters like Josh Young, Jonah Heim, Leodis Taveras. Those are guys that could expand the zone. Now, what you don't want to do is start accumulating base runners with less than one out. Once you start frames off with 2 on and no outs, that's when they get you, because now any ball in play can beat you. And the Rangers got a lot of speed throughout the lineup. I think outside of Nate Lowe and Robbie Grossman, everybody else runs like a fucking Saluki on the team. So you just gotta dot your I's and cross your T's. I mean, the pitching staff for the Rangers is absolutely abysmal. The whole bullpen is in shambles. I think their bullpen is worse than ours right now. But Gonzo, to go back to that offense, like I said, like you're not facing Corey Seager. You're not facing Adolis Garcia when he's at the peak of his powers. Don't fall behind these guys at all. You don't have to. You don't have to nibble.
No. You don't have to nibble. So, at the end of the day, though, Justin, this is going to be a losing week, whether we like it or not. The only thing that we can look forward to is what will Rick Hahn do? Will he do what we want him to do? Retool, get some value and prospects to refill some holes in this roster, change up the chemistry. But I will tell you, we won't pick the schedule, but we will make some weekly picks. And this is our weekly picks. All right, weekly picks. Jay, you got your second dub of the season with Yasmani Grandal. Talk to us about your boy this past week, Jay.
Well, shout out to Slavko. He put the bug in my ear before the season. He said Yasmani gonna have a sneaky decent year. The last couple of picks I had, I think I picked Chris Middleton and Kendall Graveman to see if they could get me some hold so I could get back in the game. And you know what? I just went back to my roots and went with Yasmani Grandad. And he pulled out a dub. Shout out to you, Yasmani. All we get is dubs over here. All we get is dubs because of you, Yasmani. Thank you. Even though the team went 1-6 on the road, you didn't get cold.
There we go. Justin didn't get cold. He's starting off this break with the victory. Can he battle back? Jay, you got the first pick, and it's going to go You, me,
Mon-
Junior, and Slav.
Can I give you a hint of my pick?
Go ahead. What's the hint? Ooh!
He's back.
He almost had a grand slam tonight, folks.
I'm trying to stay hot, Gonzo. So from Cienfuegos, Yoan Moncada is the pick.
My boy is going with Moncada to start it off. I think he stole someone else's pick, but Jay is starting off hot. I'm on the clock here. I'm gonna go.
Royce Clayton.
Hi, Mom. It's Eloy time. I'm gonna go with Eloy Jimenez for the week, Justin.
You going with his bat or his legs?
I'm definitely going with his legs. I think he's gonna get a stolen base. I think Yan Gomes doesn't have a chance tomorrow.
I think you're smoking crack.
I could be smoking crack. But we got Junior on the board. Let's see who Junior's gonna go with. You picked Moncada, so you stole that.
Yeah.
I stole his pick last week. You stole it this week. His second selection is gonna be Andrew Benintendi. I like the pick. So Jay got Moncada. I got Eloy. OJ got his pick with an attendee. And Slav is on the clock. Slav is going to go with, let's see what he's got here, folks. He's going with Robert La Pantera.
Ooh.
It's going to be a competitive week, Justin. Picks are as follows. I'll put it up on the screen for everybody. So, Jay, you're going with Moncada. I'm going with Eloy. Junior's going with Benintendi. And Slavko is going with Robert Jr. La Pantera. 2 raw. That is the picks for the week. Let's do a little quick update with our standings for the year so far.
Why do you got to update with the standings? Just leave it at I won. We got the picks. Move on.
Jay, you're getting closer to getting out of last place. I can tell you that.
You make me sick.
I got really 6. Slavko has 4. Junior has 3, and Jay has 2.
Yeah.
2. He's got 2 wins for the year. One more win, Jay. One more win. You got this. Then you're tied.
Who puts
you're back in the race
fingers like this, Gonzo? What is wrong with you?
Yep, I got a lot of things wrong with me. That's what we're getting at here. And Jay, as we wrap it up here, just a reminder, guys, everyone in the chat, next week for the trade deadline special, we're going to have Sierra Santos from the MLB Network. Sierra will be with us at 10:30 sharp next week. Next Tuesday night, August 1st, Sierra Santos will be with us at 10:30. Show starts 10:30. Mark it down, share it with a friend, be here next week because it's going to get really spicy, Justin. It's going to be an interesting trade deadline. I think not only for our White Sox, I think it's going to get really spicy. We might see Ohtani getting traded. A lot of interesting things to come. But Jay, I think it's that time of the show where we do some shout outs. And I'm going to give you the ball. The ball's in your court, Justin. Give me some shout outs for the week here.
Well, I got to give a shout out to Bad Guy Radio, of course, the whole scumbags. You guys kept me sane. I took the worst loss in my fantasy life to King Mac. Then I turned around and got blown. Well, I didn't get blown out by Caleb, but I lost. But there's some really awesome people that I met on the internet and I talk sports with every day. They made sure I didn't blow my brains out over fantasy sports. So those involved with the Blackout, Bad Guy Radio, everybody else in our community. Thank you. I appreciate it. And go White Sox, of course.
Very good, Jay. Very good. You even get a shout out to Nick last week, man. What is up? What is up with that? That's okay.
No, Nick traded
Nick
King Max Shaw Murphy, so no.
Can't give no shout outs to Nick. All right, my shout outs. I gotta give a shout out to my one and only Soraya, my girlfriend. She's behind the screen right now with me producing on the TikTok side of it. She's doing a great job. I absolutely love her, and I'm glad that she is helping me out on my journey. She is the GOAT. And now I'm gonna get to my TikToks. Shout outs. I think I saw Josie in the chat in the beginning. She's been hitting at it. I see a girl by the name of Ashanti in the chat going crazy. She's been hitting the chat raw this whole.
What the hell is your issue?
Ghost is in here. Good job, Ghost. Thanks for joining. And I see that you got the best picture of your school. Love to see it. Anthony Kaplan, thank you for joining. And this whole TikTok experience, we were just starting off tonight, and I'm absolutely loving it. Loving seeing the chat all blown up here. We got 3,700 likes at the moment. Guys, keep them pounding. Keep them coming in. Gabe, what's up, Gabe? Keep it coming. We are at an hour strong here, and we're going to be wrapping it up soon. But thank you for coming and joining us. We love to see it.
You say coming one more time. I fucking dare you.
Jay doesn't want to hear it one more time, so I won't say it again. My last shout out, I forgot to bring it up last week. I'm going to shout out my guy Otis. My guy Otis Sayers. He's one of my classmates, but rest in peace. We lost him about a couple weeks ago to cancer complications.
Damn,
so I want to give some positive. I want to give some positive thoughts to his family, the Sawyer family. Everybody give them some love and some positive. If you're religious, give them some prayers and good positivity goes their way because they lost a father. He leaves behind his wife and daughter. So a lot of some tough things going on in my life right now, but that's one of them. I need to give them some love because he was such a truly genuine guy. He was an older classmate. He was in the Navy, so he did his due time for our country, and I'm excited that that we can give a shout out to his family and the time that's needed. So, and that really wraps it up for our shout outs. Thank you for tuning in, and again, reminder: next week at 10:30 sharp. We're going to be going live again next Tuesday night, the 1st, with Sierra Santos from the MLB Network. Justin, do you have any other ending thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah. Shame on you, White Sox, for losing the game to the Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs, you absolutely make me sick. I'm going to be at the rate rooting against you. Of course, Marcus Stroman, count your days. You're probably not going to make it through the 3rd or 4th inning.
Yes. I hope that we don't see much from Stroman tomorrow.
Yeah. Besides
a sinker to leave in the ballpark, several of them. We got to match up that power that we saw tonight against the White Sox. So.
Well, the Cubs don't have a Michael.
Let's see. Hopefully you can give us some positivity. Yes, they don't. Instead, we got Lance Lynn going tomorrow. But regardless, thanks to everybody for tuning in. You can follow us on Twitter, Blackout Show Shy. Instagram is Blackout Show Shy as well. Go on Facebook and follow the Blackout Show. And then also, we are also on TikTok now, live streaming. So the Blackout Show is on TikTok. If you those are your platforms for the visual. If you want to listen to the podcast, you can go on Apple Podcasts. You can go on Spotify, and it will be under the Gian Grid. And our show is The Blackout Show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is episode 19 of The Blackout. Thank you for tuning in, Chicago. Beep, beep.